powers are legendary. Their origins are unknown. Their methods are extreme.
And the game is on.
LXG, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
You thought it was going to end at 2 episodes? What? Are you crazy?
All right, week 1 in the books, ladies and gentlemen. The Fantasy League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Our picks here for week 2 coming up. Jeremy, start us off.
Our picks for last week. So here we go. With the early season lead of 4-3, yours truly starts the season off with 4 calls right, losing 3. Adama, who joined us for week 1, got 3 right, 4 wrong, so really close. And then our other procrastinator across the way here went 1-6. So there's only, I guess I can't really say he can only go up, because I guess he could have gone 0-7. But hopefully there's almost only one way to go, and that is up. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and do some picks for this week.
The first matchup I got highlighted here, two teams projected to score over 90 this week. We got Adamas Llamas versus Carlos. And in this matchup, you're looking at 2 players that I'm looking at specifically are Tom Brady going against New Orleans for Adama. And then Carlos has got Leonard Fournette, who had a great first week. Be interesting to see if he can repeat that performance this week. Has Adama for 94, Carlos for 91. I'm going with Adama here. I like Brady. I think Brady's your top fantasy quarterback this week. One decision that Adama's going to have to make is does he play Kareem Hunt this week? You know, he's already got Melvin Gordon and I forget his second running back is, but he had Sean McCoy. That's right. So he had Kareem Hunt on the bench last week. Can he keep him benched another week? Could swing the matchup for him, but I got Adama winning a close one versus Carlos here.
Yeah, I got JJ's got. It's not just Brady at New Orleans that's good for Adama. It's Carlos has Dak Prescott at Denver, and that's just not going to be a pretty game. And he has Denver's defense versus Dallas in the same game, and it's not that Denver's not a good defense. It's just that Dallas doesn't give up a lot of sacks. Dak Prescott doesn't throw a lot of picks. So the Denver's not going to have a chance to get many points, I don't think.
Yeah.
Ezekiel doesn't fumble the ball. The Cowboys, and plus they run the ball. They run the clock. So again, there's not going to be a lot of time for Denver to be on the field to just have a chance to get sacks, a chance to get interceptions. So that defense, I don't like that. I do like Jeremy Maclin at Cleveland. I think that might be a big game because the Cleveland defense didn't look so bad, and I think Ravens might have to throw, and Maclin might have a good game. And he could start Tyrod Taylor at Carolina over Dak Prescott, which I think would be a good call. But I'm still taking Adamas Llamas for sure.
Yeah.
His worst matchup to me would be Ertz at Kansas City because Kansas City is really good at stopping tight ends. But they just lost their safety. Eric Berry, the one to beat cancer. They lost him for the year last week, so even Zach Ertz might have a cherry matchup at this point. So, I'm picking Adama as well. All right, so in our next matchup, we have Craig's Barbarians versus Matt's Excuses Start Soon. Craig at the moment is favored by 9 points, 89-80. But actually, both of these, this whole game, both of these guys, they don't have an RB2. Either one of them. Craig has Devontae Freeman, and then he has Joe Mixon, who I don't trust. I think he's a great player, but again, we just saw Marvin Lewis. I don't trust him to play him, especially not on a short week. And then he has, Matt has Jonathan Stewart, who is a questionable RB1, but he's an RB1. I'll give him some love. He had a decent week. But then, his RB2 is Colonel Williams, which, again, good job picking him up. That's what he had to do, but do we know that's the way it's going to go? There's Chris Johnson, there's Andre Ellington, there's a guy in the practice squad they're calling up, and then he has Frank Gore, and again, any player who's on the Colts team, until Luck comes back, I'm not touching him.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do it. So, and that so I don't know. I'm looking at this matchup, and I got to pick Craig. I got to go with Taco. He's got Antonio Brown.
Taco.
Yeah, he's got Antonio Brown. You can't go wrong there. And he's got a juggernaut defenses. He has Seattle versus San Francisco or the Ravens versus Cleveland. Dude, take your pick. So both are going to be like 10-point defenses. And Matt does have Drew Brees at home, which is a game changer.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that gave me pause. Drew Brees on the road last week, you think, that wasn't so good. Dude, that was Minnesota. That's a good defense. And he was away from home. Drew Brees at the freaking Superdome, that's like almost a guaranteed 25 points. Yeah, I'm still taking the Barbarians. I'm picking Craig this week, taking the points. What do you think?
I'm going with Matt's excuses start soon, and really just because of what you were just talking about with the matchup with Drew Brees and the Patriots. Saints playing at home. There's going to be a lot of points scored in that game. I think Drew Brees bounces back really nicely. You might see some Fleener action there. I think they're going to continue to work out Ted Ginn as a deep threat, and I think Kerwin Williams has a good enough week to maintain a running back 2 position. They already came out and said he's going to be the starter, so I think you'll see enough volume to be an okay RB2. So despite the projections here, I'm going with Matt's excuses start soon to beat Craig's Barbarian this week.
Nice.
Hello. Who
Good
you picking?
Who you think? You think Uncle Craig? Uncle Craig? Nah, no tacos. All right, our next one is I got Bag of Dickas and She's Got Game. You want to start that one off, Josh?
Yeah. Yeah, I got it. So projections are pretty heavily favoring Bag of Dickas here, and I think that's where I'm leaning in this matchup as well. He's got a really good quarterback matchup with Derek Carr going against the Jets this week, and I think that tips the scales for him. A couple of players on She's Got Game that I think are going to have some tough matchups this week. You got Mariota going against Jacksonville. I think you saw what Jacksonville's defense can do against the Texans last week. I think that they give Mariota and the Titans a little bit of problems there. Also, she's got her RB1 and Carlos Hyde going up against Seattle, which is just going to be tough sledding. I don't see Seattle giving up any points in this game. They're playing at home. They just lost to Green Bay. I think it's a really bad matchup for Carlos Hyde and anybody else on the San Francisco team. So I'm going with the points here. I'm going Bag of Dickas over She's Got Game.
Man. You don't start a defense playing the Green Bay Packers. It's that simple. And Steve has the defense who's playing the Green Bay Packers. And I don't see him making any effort to change. So that's a bad call. And again, he has Elliott going to Denver. Again, like I said before, it's not. Again, he played the Giants. He's going to have a decent game, but Elliott needs to have a good game. Stevens had a really, really rough start of the season. Let me run by his first 7 picks of the draft for you here. First round, he got Mike Evans. Second round, Ezekiel Elliott. Third round, Allen Robinson. Fourth round, Travis Kelce. Fifth round, Eddie Lacy. Sixth round, Andrew Luck. Seventh round, Paul Perkins. It starts out good. 1 and 2? All right. 3? Already injured, out for the year. 4, Kelsey.
Yep.
It's okay, but it's a tight end. It's just a tight end. 5, he already dropped Eddie Lacy. I told you not to draft him. And then Luck is still out, and Paul Perkins is just still Paul Perkins.
Still hot garbage, yeah.
So, 4 of his first 7 rounds at this point are just nothing. They're gone. So I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at the whole team, and I think, again, Derek Carr versus New York Jets, the Jets do have a couple, they have that really nice rookie safety. Listen, man, I know you don't think it, but again, it's the same reason I don't know if I want to start Marshawn Lynch. The game's going to be so easy that it's going to be hard to say who's going to get the points. Anyone can score. And then once they score, they're going to take out the other. So let's say Marshawn Lynch comes out and gets 2 touchdowns, and then they get up by 28 points, and they say, okay, everyone's off the field. Derek Carr, Crabtree, everyone's gone. So then only Marshawn Lynch gets points. Or it might be the opposite. Maybe Derek Carr goes out, throws 3 touchdowns, and Lynch gets benched because we don't need to use him. So why risk the injury? So I don't know if the Jets is really a good matchup. It's a good matchup, on paper, but in real life, coaches don't care about your fantasy team.
No, but it's also the regular season, and there's no team that's going to bench their starters. If the Jets can't stop them, they'll put up 45 points. I don't see it as being an issue. I think a little bit of overanalyzation there, but I hope you don't start Lynch this week because we're playing each other. So go ahead and bench him and watch him get 25 on your bench.
We'll get to there. We're getting that to in a minute. And also he has Jalen Strong as his wide receiver 3, and that's just not very strong.
No. Not a strong play.
No, it's not a strong play. I'm picking Tree. I'm thinking she's got game, but I have some caveats, and I might change my pick come Thursday before Thursday's game. My caveats is that she cannot play the Green Bay Packers defense who are playing Atlanta. Again, you don't play a defense playing the Packers. You also don't play a defense playing the goddamn Falcons. So yeah, I don't think that if she can change, she already has KC on her team. They're playing Philly. It's not necessarily a great matchup, but Wentz might give up a little more. He might throw a pick. He's still young. Alshon Jeffrey could blow out his knee any given second. So I don't know. And then again, she has Allen Hurns, but he's on the bench. She still has Treadwell in. Treadwell was one of our 0 plays last week. So he's a 1-point play. As long as she can swap those 2 players and get Allen Hurns in there, because she also has Fitzgerald. I like that. She has Fitzgerald going to Indianapolis. Because again, they don't have David Johnson. I think the game's going to start, and they're going to do what they know. And that's not John Brown, who just got back from injury. That's not J.J. Nelson, who's still young. That's Larry Fitzgerald and Carson Palmer. 2 old dudes that have been slinging it for a while are going to go out there in the beginning of the game, the first half, and put up 100 yards and a touchdown. And that's just the first half. So I like that matchup. So I'm going to Tree. Our next game, we're going to have the Dirty Slovaks, Adam's squad, versus Kristen's Chicago Bears. Right now, Adam is favored by 4 points, 95-91. Adam has, for me, again, you thought they were going to do better than they did last week, his Steelers, going to Cleveland. But again, you have to remember, it's Big Ben on the road is Big Ben on the road. Yeah. But Bell was a little bit surprising, so we'll see if he gets his legs back under him for the second week. But they're playing Minnesota, which isn't a good matchup. He has a Giants defense, which is playing the Detroit Lions, which is not a good matchup either. The Lions looked really good last week. And then he has C.J. Anderson versus Dallas. And again, not that Dallas is a good defense. They're not. But that offense runs the clock. They run a lot of plays. So C.J. Anderson isn't going to have many opportunities to get points. While Kristen has the Arizona defense going up against the Indianapolis Colts, which is just about as good as it gets for a defense for me. She has Russell Wilson going to San Francisco, which is really nice. She has Julio Jones and Adam Thielen, and then Miller and Cook. And Cook looked really nice. We didn't talk about him. He could have been a nice Willie Beeman breakout as well. But Dalvin Cook going. So I gotta pick Kristen this week. And I will be interested. I'm kind of watching what she's gonna do. If she's gonna play Devontae Parker or Richard Matthews. I would play Parker. I know he's playing the LA Chargers and they have some really good cornerbacks, but I'd see what happens. You know, him and Jay Cuddy, see what kind of connection they got going.
Yeah, I also had Russell Wilson highlighted versus San Francisco for the Chicago Bears here. But I think the Slovaks pull it out this week. There's two matchups on his team that I really, really like, and that's Rob Gronkowski from New Orleans. Had a bad week, had a bad first game, but I think he bounces back nicely. Again, as I said earlier, there's going to be a lot of points scored in the game, and potentially the loss of Amendola there, I think opens up some more opportunities for Gronk. Also, I like Devontae Adams going against the Falcons. That's another high-scoring affair down there. Falcons opening their new stadium against the Packers. Obviously a lot of attention is going to be paid to Jordy Nelson. So I like Devonta Adams to be sneaky wide receiver 3 play that might give you a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 1 production this week. I see 5-6 catches, close to 100 yards and a touchdown from Adams. So I like that matchup, and I think that pulls the Slovaks through there.
The next one I have is Nuzzy Futz and Kneecaps. You want to start that one?
Yep.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, that one. When you look at that matchup, it boils down to the quarterbacks for me. You got Matt Ryan versus Aaron Rodgers, and those two are they're going up against each other in real life, and I think that whoever wins that battle could win this matchup for fantasy for these guys. I'm going Nuzzy Futz here. I think Green Bay, while having a good defensive showing last week, they're about to run into a buzzsaw in Atlanta. Atlanta is opening up their new stadium. They just came off a pretty, a close win over the Bears, and they're at home. I think Atlanta puts up a ton of points here. Matt Ryan has a really big week, so I'm going with Nuzzy Futz over Kneecaps based on the quarterback matchups there.
I'm going that way too. I mean, again, as I said earlier about, I think what Steve and Craig's matchup, or sorry, Craig and Matt's matchup. There's no RB2 here, man. Like LeGarrette Blount, to me, again, I don't. He had a decent week last week, but I'm not sold that he's going to be an RB2 this year. I'm not there yet, so I'm a little skeptical of that one. And New England defense versus New Orleans, that's not going to do it for me. I'd be tempted to see what else is out there. I'm not sure, but there's got to be something better than that. Because New England got blown up by Alex Smith. If you got blown up by Alex Smith, what do you think Drew Brees at home is going to do to you, man? So yeah, I'm not liking that. And his kicker, again, you can't play any Colts until Luck comes back. And I know Adam Vinatieri is a nice name, dude. He's old and steady, man, but you can't do it. You gotta get rid of that guy.
Stop talking about kickers. Nobody cares about kickers.
I do. They're part of the game, man. My kicker got like 15 points though. 14 points last week, man.
Nobody cares about kickers. Nobody cares. Stop it.
Will Lutz, Matt Prater. What's his name? Kenny, what's his name? Where'd he go? Where's the guy Aaron picked up? Kenny Velasquez, whatever. There it is. Giorgio Tavecchia. Watch out, man. He's having a great year. So anyway, okay, that's good. We both got him. Plus, again, for me, Aaron, it's all about those receivers, man. Cooks, Diggs, Allen, top it off with Gurley and Montgomery. Man, that's looking real nice. And I do gotta say one thing. I mocked him a little bit when he chose to keep Montgomery over Jordan Howard in the 7th round. After last week, that might not be the worst bad. It might not be a bad call. Montgomery looked real nice against Seattle.
Well, next one. This is our closest projected matchup of the week right here with Heinrich Maneuver going up against Joski. Now, projected points 82 for Heinrich Maneuver and 83 for Joski. I think the big story here is, again, with the quarterback, Winston going against Chicago Bears. Bears defense looked pretty good against Atlanta last week. I got to be honest. Secondary still suspect, but that front seven looks strong. So it'd be interesting to see. They're going to play this game in Tampa Bay. A lot of emotion surrounding that, and see how Winston comes out and plays. I think he's the key player in this matchup, and is going to determine who wins this. So, and I think he plays well. I think the Bears are going to be they're going to play better at home than they do on the road. And I like Winston in this matchup, so I'm giving the trophy to Heinrich Maneuver in this one.
Last week, I said, you know what? I feel the luck was with Joe this week, and it was. Because he got lucky, he played Craig, and Craig zoned out and went taco. But this week, I think the lucky pendulum here is going to swing, and I think it's also going to go to Ben. I think this is going to be a really close matchup. Again, half of Joe's team's playing the Giants, who aren't, the Dallas had an okay game against them, but Abdullah's not Ezekiel Elliott. Stafford's better than Dak Prescott, but overall, I don't think the Lions are going to have a huge game. I think they'll be okay. But when half your team plays for one team, you have to have that team have a good week.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Lions are going to have a great week. It'll be interesting to see how Jimmy Graham responds to having his 0-point game when he's playing San Francisco. Hopefully he'll put up some points to even it out. And even again, Ben, I'm not sold on Gillislee, especially against New Orleans. If that game becomes a shootout, that sounds like more, Deion Lewis, Rex Burkhead. Those guys might be more. They might be brought out more in that atmosphere, but we'll see what happens. I do like McCaffrey, though. I do like McCaffrey at the Bills. I think there's a part of the Panthers that maybe they didn't. McCaffrey's had an okay game last week, but I think they want to sell him high. They want to show off what they drafted. I think they're going to highlight him this week and have a good week. And Dez Bryant, even though he's playing Denver, man, he had a bad week last week. I think he's going to be pissed off, man. That's an emotional dude, And I don't think he has I don't think he has two bad games in a row much, if ever, that I can remember. So even though it's against Denver, he might literally punch a guy to get open, but I think Dez is going to get open. And he's going to get some points. So yeah, I'm going to Ben 2 this week.
Just leaves one, right? One matchup left?
The last matchup of the week is OG Billy Witch Doctor versus Chicago Meltdown.
Shut up. Yeah, we'll see what you're saying next week. Yeah.
I'll be honest, man. I looked at the matchups, and if I covered the names, if I didn't know whose team was whose, I would probably pick your team. I probably would, but I can't because it's my squad. And listen, and it's not about the talent. Like again, when I look at your team, look at my team, I still like my team more. But this week, man, I just don't like the matchups. Yeah. I don't like my defense. I got Pittsburgh at home versus Minnesota. And again, I drafted Sam Bradford for a reason. I thought what happened this weekend was going to happen. Thielen, Diggs are for real. Cook is solid. So I don't like the defense. I'm trying to find a way around it, but we'll see what happens with that. Odell Beckham's still hurt. He might not be back. See what happens with that.
Yeah.
And on the same side, even though I don't like Pittsburgh defense, I don't like Sam Bradford this week either. I don't think he's going to have a bad game. I don't think he's going to have a great game. I think this is going to be a game where the defenses are both going to show up, but they're both still going to do enough points to make it a good game, like 21-24, something like that. And that's going to be fine. It's going to be like a 13-point, 14-point week for the quarterbacks, but that's not what I want. I want a 20-point, week. So, yeah. And again, I said earlier, I don't know about Lynch. I'm going to start him because, hey, the band's back together. That's the fucking theme song, dude. So I'm starting Marshawn Lynch, but I don't, again, it could go, again, if they get up 20 points in the first half, I could just see him not coming back. Again, last week, the whole second quarter, they took him out the game. He played the first quarter. The second quarter, they gave him a rest, and he came back for the second half. Yeah. If they go on halftime up 28 points, they're not going to bring him back out the second half.
Yeah, I don't know. They paid him for a reason,
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But again, I'm going to start him, though. It is a home game. It is Marshawn Lynch's first home game back in Oakland. So that's going to be definitely, that's the reason why I'm definitely not going to take him out. While you do have Newton at Buffalo, which is, again, Buffalo's not a horrible defense, but again, it's just one of those things where their offense isn't going to be able to kick the ball long enough to do anything. Nelson and Cooper. Again, Cooper's going to be playing again at home against the Jets. Though I am surprised to see that you, as of today, Tariq Cohen is now your starter over Mark Ingram. I was a little surprised. I thought you were going to ride the Ingram train out, you know?
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. After watching the Monday night game, I don't know what's going on. I mean, the Saints were down, so they weren't running the ball a lot. And it's clear, after watching the Bears on Sunday, that Cohen's going to have a role in the offense. I mean, it looks like, he's in line for 10 touches a game, maybe more. They don't have any receivers left. They didn't really have any to start the year, and they already have 2 on injured reserve. So I think he's a receiving option. He's a running option. Yahoo, I think, hasn't predicted for like 5 points this week. I think he exceeds that, threefold. I think he's in line for 10 to 15 points. So I'm okay trotting him out there this week. Also, I think Newton has a pretty sweet matchup. So I'm hoping he can round into form, give me a good solid performance versus Buffalo this week. And as far as that Raiders-Jets game, I'm hoping they throw it. I'm just hoping they throw it versus run it. So give me the Cooper points. That's all I can hope for there.
I hope you keep playing with this. Puncher's in this week.
Yep.
Aaron, if you're going to start blowing me up on Facebook, talking trash about my picks, put your own goddamn picks in there and show me what you're working with. Okay? Because as of right now, I'm the best goddamn picker in the league. So take that. We don't have this part yet. And this is, I'm saying this to you, but I'm going to say this to like everybody when they watch the podcast as well. We're going to have a Fill Me Up Buttercup Boom and Bust of the Week section. But we don't have any Boom and Bust yet because we don't know who those players are yet. We could easily say, Deshaun Jackson, because he's always been that guy, but we want to give people the fair share, and we're going to wait till like week 3 or week 4 when we have a track record of people who are booming and busting. But for now, let's just throw out some names and let's see how you feel about them. I got a couple names here, Josh. Sammy Watkins is at home versus the Washington Redskins this week. Bust?
I'm going bust. Yeah, Sammy Watkins is a bust. He will always be a bust.
He had 5 points last week. He had 5 points.
5 points.
Let's say a bust. Let's say, I think 5 points is a good. If it's under 5 points, it's a bust. Over 15 is a boom. Right?
Yeah.
In between, there's just, it's okay. It doesn't kill your team. So you're thinking, you're telling me Sammy Watkins is going to get less than 5 points?
Yeah, I think he's a buster. Looking at Miami squad and Jarvis Landry, either, or you could pick either one of those receivers. But what do you think about Landry and Cutler this week playing their first game? I think that's a guy. Boom or bust.
I think it's gonna be really close for Landry. I think it's gonna be like one of those like late fourth quarter. He's gonna catch that like 8th pass for like 3 yards and get 51 yards. But I think he'll get it. And Devontae Parker, man, if it was any other matchup, I would say he was gonna get it. But the Chargers, dude, those DBs are for real. Dude, they just held Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas in check. I got one for you. How about Kobe Fleener?
Fleener, what do we got here? We got Fleener going against the Patriots. I think if we're setting the threshold at 15, it's hard for me to give him a boom here. That's a lot of points.
All right, that's it. He's a tight end, so let's knock it down to like 10.
Yeah.
Tight ends 10-11 is a boom.
Yeah, I think you go boom at 10 points. They weren't very successful running the ball on the goal line last week. So I think probably they make some changes there and maybe look to the tight end when they get down there in the red zone. I like play any Saints, any Patriots this week. That game's going to have 80 some points in it. So I go boom on Fleener. Fleener boom.
All right, guys. Week 2 is about to kick off. Good luck, everyone. Again, please have some fun. Join us on the pick'ems, punch in your picks, see what's going to happen. And I'm looking forward to seeing our newest member, Adam, break it down on his karaoke later this week.
Woo! That's good.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
All right, see ya.